कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्रतुलसी मकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतस्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वो नेहयत्कर्मधर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते न तीर्थपदसेवायै जीवन्नपि मृतो हि सः प्रसङ्गम् अजरं पाशम् आत्मना कवयो विदु स एव साधुषु कृतो मोक्षद्वारम् अपावृतम् तितिक्षव कारुणिका सुहृदः सर्वदेहिनाम् अजातशत्रवः शान्ताः साधवः साधुभूषणाः सतां प्रसङ्गान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायना कथा तज्जोषणादाशपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति हासं हरेरवनताखिललोकतीव्र शोकाश्रुसागरविशोषणमत्युदारम् सम्मोहनाय रचितं निजमाययास्य भ्रूमण्डलं मुनिकृते मकरध्वजस्य मद्गुणश्रुतिमात्रेण मयि सर्वगुहाशये मनोगतिरविच्छिन्ना यथा गङ्गाम्भसोऽम्बुदौ लक्षणं भक्तियोगस्य निर्गुणस्य युदारितम् अहैतुक्यव्यवहिताया भक्तिपुरुषोत्तमे सालोक्यसारष्टिसामीप्य सारूप्यैकत्वमप्युत दीयमानं न गृह्णन्ति विना मत्सेवनं जनाः यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्रवलनात् यत्स्मरणादपि क्वचित् श्वादोऽपि सद्य सवनाय कल्पते कुतः पुनस्ते भगवन्नुदर्शनात् अहो बतश्व पचतो गरीयान् यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम् ते पुस्तपस्ते जुहुवो सस्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचुर्नाम गृह्णन्ति ये ते हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. We will continue our study of Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Text 49. Again, it is Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26.49. This chapter is entitled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. The Supreme Lord, Shri Kapiladev, is teaching his beloved mother, Srimati Devahuti Devi, the Sankhya philosophy, which helps us attain Krishna. Text 49. Lord Kapil Dev is speaking. Parasya drishyate dharmo ye aparas min samanvayat ato vishesho bhavanam bhumavevo palakshate. Since the cause exists in its effect as well, the characteristics of the former are observed in the latter. That is why the peculiarities of all the elements exist in the earth alone. We actually saw this verse last time and we read the purport also. So, sound is the cause of sky, sky is the cause of air, air is the cause of fire, fire is the cause of water, water is the cause of earth. So, it grows, creation takes place from subtle to gross, and annihilation takes place from gross to subtle. And each element, material element, there are five material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, also called as sky. Each has a quality. Sky has the quality of sound, air has the quality of touch, fire has the quality of sight, water has the quality of taste, and earth has all these qualities plus fragrance. Text 50. एतान् असंहत्य यदा महद् आदीनि सप्त वै कालकर्म गुणोपेतो जगद आदिर उपाविशत्. When all these elements were unmixed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin of creation, along with time, work, and the qualities of the modes of material nature, entered into the universe with the total material energy in 7 divisions. So all these material elements are there. They are all products of Krishna's own Bahiranga Shakti, external energy. But by themselves, they are incapable of doing anything. And Krishna activates them by entering into them. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, after stating the generation of the causes, Lord Kapiladev speaks about the generation of the effects. So the material elements are created. Now what effect is there? At that time, when the causes were unmixed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature of Sri Garbhodakshay Vishnu entered within each universe. So these material universes are there, but they have no life. There is no pran. And then the Supreme Lord Vishnu has to enter as Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of that particular Brahmanda. Accompanying him were all the 7 primary elements. What are these 7 elements? Let's see. The 5 material elements, earth, water, fire, air, sky. The total energy, Mahatattva, and the false ego. These are the 7. This entrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead involves his entering even the atoms of the material world. This is confirmed in Shri Brahma Samhita 5.35. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. Krishna enters even inside the Paramanu, even inside the atoms. He is not only within the universe, but within the atoms also. Krishna is within the heart of every living entity. Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered into everything in his form as Shirodakshay Vishnu. Text 51. Tatastenānuviddebhyo yuktebhyo andam acetanam utthitam purusho yasmad udatishtad asau virat. From these 7 principles, the 5 material elements, the Mahatattva and false ego. Mahatattva is the material energy. From these 7 principles, roused into activity and united by the presence of the Lord, an unintelligent egg arose, from which appeared the celebrated Virat, the celebrated cosmic being, Purusha. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, in sex life, the combination of matter from the parents, which involves emulsification and secretion, creates the situation whereby a soul is received within matter, and the combination of matter gradually develops into a complete body. There is fertilization of the ovum by the sperm, embryo is created, and then through embryogenesis, there is production of the fetus. And within 9 months, the embryo develops into full-term fetus, who then comes out and is a newborn child with eyes to see, with ears to hear, with tongue to speak, four limbs, hair, skin, bones, everything. So it develops because a soul has taken shelter in that piece of matter called human body. The same principle exists in the universal creation also. The ingredients were present, the sperm, ovum, all the everything is ingredients are there, but only when the Lord entered into the material elements was matter actually set into motion, actually agitated. That is the cause of creation. The cause of creation is Krishna. We can see this in our ordinary experience. Although we may have clay, water, fire, the elements take the shape of a brick, but only when we labor to combine them, then they take the shape of a brick. Water, fire, clay. They will become a brick only when we combine them. Without the living energy, there is no possibility that matter can take shape. Similarly, this material world does not develop unless agitated by the Supreme Lord as the Virat Purush. Yasmad Udatishtad Asau Virat. By his agitation, space was created and the universal form of the Lord also manifested therein. It is all happening because of the presence of Lord Vishnu. Lord Kapil Dev is explaining how this whole material world comes into being, how it is maintained. एतद् अंडं विशेषाख्यं क्रमवृद्धैर्दशोत्तरैः तोयादिभिः परिवृतं प्रधानेनावृतैर्बहिः यत्र लोकवितानोऽयं रूपं भगवतो हरेः. This universal egg, Brahmanda, or the universe in the shape of an egg, is called the manifestation of material energy. This Andam, it is a manifestation of material energy. Its layers of water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahatattva increase in thickness one after another. Each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous one, and the final outside layer is covered by Pradhan. Within this egg is the universal form of Lord Hari, of whose body the 14 planetary systems are parts, which is the Virat Purush. Purport. This universe, or the universal sky, which we can visualize with its innumerable planets, is shaped just like an egg. An egg has got a shell. So this universe also has a shell. And this shell is made up of various layers. The first layer is water. The next is fire. Then air. Then sky. And the ultimate holding crust is Pradhan. Within this egg-like universe is the universal form of the Lord as the Virat Purush. And all the different planetary situations are parts of his body. That is the 14 planetary systems. This is the Virat Purush. Now, in the next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes, this Virat Purush is considered an incarnation of the Lord. The original form of the Lord is Krishna, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Govindam Ādi Purusham. The Virat Purush is also Purush, but he is not Adi Purush. How beautiful, Srila Prabhupada is explaining. He is not the Adi Purush. Adi Purush is Krishna. The Adi Purush is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also accepted as Adi Purush, the original. Krishna says, no one is greater than I. Matah parataram nanyat. Aham adirhi devanam. I am the source of all devtas, Krishna says. There are innumerable expansions of the Lord, and all of them are Purushas or enjoyers. But neither the Virat Purush nor the Purusha avatars, Karnadaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Shirodaksha Vishnu, is the original. The original is Krishna. Now, Srila Prabhupada says the dimensions of the universe are estimated here. The outer covering is made of water. Then there is layer of air, fire, sky, ego, Mahatattva. And each layer is 10 times greater than the previous layer. The space within the hollow of the universe cannot be measured by any human scientist or anyone else. And beyond the hollow are the 7 coverings, each one 10 times greater than the preceding one. The layer of water is 10 times greater than the diameter of the universe. The layer of fire is 10 times greater than the water. We cannot even imagine all this. So big. Similarly, the layer of air is 10 times greater than the fire. These dimensions are inconceivable to the tiny brain of the human being. We are really very insignificant. Let's read the last paragraph, please. It is also stated that this description is of only one Brahmanda, egg-like universe. There are innumerable such universes besides this one, and some of them are many, many times greater. It is considered, in fact, that this universe is the smallest. Therefore, the predominating superintendent or Lord Brahma has only 4 heads for management. In other universes, there are far greater. Brahma has more heads. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that all these Brahmas were called one day by Lord Krishna on the enquiry of the small Brahma, who after seeing all the larger Brahmas was thunderstruck, wonderstruck. That is the inconceivable potency of Lord Krishna. No one can measure the length and breadth of God by speculation or by false identification with God. These attempts are symptoms of madness, lunacy. So therefore, Krishna is aprameya, cannot be measured. Adhokshaja, he is beyond our sense perception. Text 53. Hiranmaya dandakoshad utthaya salile shayat tam avishya mahadevo bahudha nirbibedakam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Virat Purush, situated himself in that golden egg inside the Brahmanda as Virat Purush, which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments. Krishna made it into different departments. The Virat Purush. Text 54. Nirabhidhyatasya prathamam mukham vani tato bhavat vanya vahanir atho nase pranoto grahana etayoh. First of all, a mouth appeared in him, and then came forth the organ of speech, and with it the god of fire, the deity who presides over that organ. Then a pair of nostrils appeared, and in them appeared the olfactory sense of smell, as well as pran, the vital air. So, in this way, there is creation taking place in the universe, and this has a direct correlation with our body also. How our body is created, how our body is governed. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, with the manifestation of speech, fire also became manifested. And with the manifestation of nostrils, the vital air, the breathing process, and the sense of smell, olfactory sense, also became manifested. Text 55. Granad vayur abhideyat abhidetam akshini akshuretayo tasmad suryo nyabhidyetam detam karno shrotram tato dishaha. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god, who presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, in the Virat Purush, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god, who presides over the sense of sight. Next, there appeared in the Virat Purush a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its wake the Dig Devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Like this, different bodily functions, different karmendriya, they are governed by different devatas. Speech is governed by Agni Dev. Eyes are governed by Surya Dev. Like that, it's there. The appearance in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the appearance of different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form, Virat Roop, and the appearance of the presiding deities of those bodily parts are being described. This is how the creation takes place. Ultimately, Krishna is guiding all this. Mayadhyakshana Prakriti, Suyate Sa Characharam. Under my direction, does material nature create all moving and non-moving objects in the cosmic creation? Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Srila Prabhupada quotes in the purport. The next verse is 56. Nirvibheda virajastva groma shmashrav adayastatah tata oshadhayaschasam shishnam nirbibhide tatah. Then the universal form of the Lord, the Virat Purush, manifested his skin, and thereupon the hair, mustache, and beard appeared. Virat Purush has skin, hair, mustache, beard, everything. Virat Purush. After this, all the herbs and drugs, all the aushadhi, everything became manifested. And then his genitals also appeared. Srila Prabhupada says the skin is the site of touch sensation. We can touch with the skin. The demigods who control the conduction of production of herbs and medicinal drugs are the deities presiding over the tactile sense. So the demigods controlling the herbs, medicinal drugs, their growth, those presiding deities control the tactile sense of touch. Text 57. Retastasmadap asan nirabhidya tavai gudam Gudadapano panacha mrityur loka bhayankaraha. Now, in the Virat Purush manifestation, after this, Reta, semen, which is used for procreation, and the god who presides over the waters appeared. Next appeared an anus, Gudam, anus, and then the organs of defecation. Defecation means passing stool. And thereupon the god of death, who is feared throughout the universe. Mrityur Loka Bhayankara. That's how they manifested. Srila Prabhupada says something interesting in the purport. It is understood herewith that the faculty to discharge semen is the cause of death. Hare Krishna. I repeat, it is understood that to discharge semen is to cause death, cause of death. Therefore, yogis and transcendentalists who want to live for greater spans of life voluntarily restrain themselves from discharging semen. The more one can restrain the discharge of semen, the more one can be aloof from the problem of death. There are many yogis living up to 300 or 700 years by this process. And in the Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that discharging semen is the cause of horrible death. The more one is addicted to sexual enjoyment, the more susceptible he is to a quick death. Hare Krishna. Therefore, practicing celibacy is very helpful. Text 58. Hastau cha nirabhidyetam balam tabhyam tatah swarat padau cha nirabhidyetam gatistabhyam tato harihi. Thereafter, the two hands of the universal form of the Lord became manifested, and with them the power of grasping and dropping things. And after that, Lord Indra appeared. Next, the legs became manifested, and with them the process of movement, locomotion. And after that, Lord Vishnu appeared. Purport. The presiding deity over hands is Indra, And the presiding deity of movement is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, Vishnu. Vishnu appeared on the appearance of legs of the Virat Purush. Nadyosya nirabhidyanta tabhyo lohitam abhritam nadyastata samabhavan udaram nirabhidyata. The veins of the universal body became manifested, and thereafter, the red blood corpuscles or blood, RBCs, blood basically. In their wake came the rivers, the deities presiding over the veins, and then appeared an abdomen, udaram, the abdomen, belly. The rivers preside over the veins of the Virat Purush. Srila Prabhupada says blood veins are compared to rivers. When the veins were manifested in the universal form, the rivers in the various planets were also manifested. The controlling deity of the rivers is also controlling deity of the nervous system. In Ayurvedic treatment, those who are suffering from the diseases of nervous instability are recommended to take a bath by dipping into a flowing river. Hare Krishna. Text 60. क्षुत्पिपासे ततः स्यातां समुद्रस्त एतयोरभूत् अथास्य हृदयं भिन्नं हृदयान् मन उत्थितम्. Next grew feelings of hunger, kshut, pipase, and thirst. Kshut is hunger, pipase is thirst. Hunger and thirst arose, and in their wake came the manifestation of the oceans. Then a heart became manifest, and in the wake of the heart, the mind appeared. Hare Krishna. Purport. The ocean is considered to be the presiding deity of the belly, abdomen, where the feelings of hunger and thirst originate. Hare Krishna. When there is an irregularity in Shut Pipas, in hunger and thirst, one is advised according to Ayurvedic treatment to take bath in the ocean. Because ocean takes care of the abdomen, presiding deity is the ocean. Text 61. Manashaschandrama jato buddhir buddhir giram patihi ahankarasthato rudras chittam chaityastato bhavat. After the mind, the moon appeared, intelligence appeared next, and after intelligence, Lord Brahma appeared. Then the false ego appeared, and then Lord Shiva. And after the appearance of Lord Shiva came consciousness and the deity presiding over consciousness. So after the mind, moon appeared. Therefore, moon controls the mind. And intelligence appeared, then Lord Brahma appeared. There in the Virat Purush. Then the false ego appeared and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva takes care of false ego, Ahankar. Intelligence is governed by Lord Brahma. And the mind is governed by moon. When false ego appeared, Lord Shiva appeared. And after the appearance of Lord Shiva came consciousness and the deity presiding over consciousness. Like that. The moon appeared after the appearance of mind, and this indicates, this is the purport by Srila Prabhupada, and this indicates that the moon is the presiding deity of the mind. Moon and mind are connected. Therefore, those whose minds go crazy, they are called lunatics, from lunar. Similarly, Lord Brahma appearing after intelligence is the presiding deity of intelligence. Lord Shiva, who appears after false ego, is the presiding deity of false ego. In other words, moon god is in the mode of goodness, Lord Brahma in the mode of passion, Lord Shiva controls mode of ignorance. The appearance of consciousness after the appearance of false ego indicates that from the beginning, material consciousness is under the mode of ignorance, and that one therefore has to purify himself by purifying his consciousness. This purificatory process is called Krishna consciousness. Very important. False ego appears and then comes consciousness. That means from the beginning only, consciousness is under false ego, which is mode of ignorance. Very nice point, Srila Prabhupada says. And purifying the mind means Chetudarpana Marjanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. The Supreme Personality of God appeared on the full moon day as Gaura Chandra, or the spotless transcendental moon. The material moon has spots on it, but the transcendental moon, Sri Gaura Chandra, there has no spots. In order to fix the purified mind in the service of the Supreme Lord, one has to worship the spotless moon, Gaura Chandra. Those who are materially passionate or those who want to exhibit their intelligence for material advancement in life are generally worshippers of Lord Brahma. And persons who are in the gross ignorance of identifying with the body worship Lord Shiva. And Srila Prabhupada gives example. Materialists like Hiranyakashipu, Ravan worship Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. But Prahlad Maharaj and other devotees in service of Krishna consciousness worship the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. They always worship Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj worshipped Krishna, no matter what happened. That is the nature of a pure devotee. So, dear devotees, will stop here. Oh no, it's only 902, 903. Okay, we can continue a few more verses. Text 62. Ete abhyuthita deva naivasyothapane shakan punar avivishu khani tam utthapayitum kramat. When the demigods and presiding deities of the various senses were thus manifested, they wanted to wake their origin of appearance. But upon failing to do so, they re entered the body of the Virat Purush, and one after another in order to wake him. In order to wake the sleeping deity controller within, one has to rechannel the sense activities from concentration on the outside to concentration inside. In the following verses, the sense activities which are required to wake the Virat Purush will be explained very nicely. When the demigods and the presiding deities of various senses were manifested, they wanted to wake their original origin of appearance. And when they could not, they re-entered the body of the Virat Purush, and one after another, Virat Purush, they entered one after another in order to wake him up. Text 63. Vahanirvacha mukham bheje nodatishtha tada virat granena nasike vayur nodatishtha tada virat. The god of fire entered the mouth of Virat Purush, god of fire, with the organ of speech. We saw how Agnidev, god of fire, controls the speech. But the Virat Purush could not be aroused. Virat Purush was still sleeping. Then the god of wind entered his nostrils with the sense of smell. But still the Virat Purush refused to be awakened. Akshini chakshusha nodatiष्ठा tada virat shrotrena karanam cha disho nodatiष्ठा tada virat. The sun god entered the eyes of the Virat Purush with the sense of sight. Eyes of Virat Purush, sun god, gives sight. But still the Virat Purush did not get up, still sleeping. Similarly, the predominating deities of the directions, Dikpal, entered through the ears with the sense of hearing, but still he did not get up. Tvacham romabhir oshadyo nodatiष्ठा tada virat retasa shishnam apastu nodatiष्ठा tada virat. The predominating deity of the sun, herbs, and seasoning plants entered the skin of the Virat Purush with the hair of the body. But the cosmic being refused to get up even then. The god predominating over water entered his organ of generation with the faculty of procreation, but the Virat Purush still would not rise. The predominant deity of the skin, that is the herbs, seasoning plants, deities, entered the skin of Virat Purush, still Virat Purush was sleeping. Then the god predominating water entered his organ of generation with the faculty of procreation. but the Virat Purush still would not rise. So we'll stop here and we'll continue from verse number 66, day after tomorrow. Okay, the Virat Purush is still not waking up, but the creation is going on by and by. And we will see what happens, what brings the Virat Purush to life, consciousness. Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yeah. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you very much for your nice class. So, Prabhu, I have just one basic doubt. Now, in the formation of the various organs that is given, gross organs, subtle organs, etc., and the sense devatas. So, it is mentioned that mukham or mouth is one of the first to be developed, and hridayam or heart is one of the last to be developed. Whereas in medical science, we see something different, no? Like as a doctor, you can confirm if I'm wrong. I mean, if I'm right or wrong. When the pregnancy is detected, the heartbeat is what determines, no? I mean, the child, the mother is conceived or not.
Correct.
And then the remaining, the gross parts are developing. Whereas here, the sequence, what they have mentioned, seems to be reverse. So can you clarify this, Prabhu? I'm not able to fathom this.
Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
here it is said, among the organs, the gross organs, the heart they have mentioned.
Yeah.
Then the heart became manifest, then in the heart, mind, and then we talk about subtle things. After mind,
Yeah.
moon, then intelligence, then Brahma controls it, and then finally false ego, Lord Shiva. Like that. And
Yes.
before that, it was everything. Hands, power of grasping, legs, power of movement, Lord Vishnu, veins, blood, the deities of the rivers predominate that. Then appeared the abdomen. Then the ocean god controls the abdomen, thirst and hunger. Then heart. According to embryogenesis, embryology, the heartbeat comes. I am not able to remember exactly when, but the heartbeat comes in a few weeks after fertilization, after life starts. The heartbeat takes several weeks to come and then it gets detected. Prior to that, there is formation of the other bodily parts. Other bodily parts are also there, but they are not fully manifested. For examples, there may be appendages which later on will become hands and legs, but all the bones and all may not have manifested. But the appendages begin to manifest as limbs. The abdomen is there. So, more or less, modern embryology, it does match with the Vedic version. The technical names are different. For example, Srila Prabhupada used the word emulsification. है ना? When there is emulsification, when the semen and the ovum, sperm and the ovum come together, there is emulsification, and then the soul takes shelter. So some words may be different. In the medical literature, emulsification may not be the exact word used. So the technical terms may be different, but overall, if you see the broader picture, it is based on my reading, it does match the embryology. So yes, the heart comes at a few weeks, whether it is heartbeat comes at 10 weeks or 12 weeks, I don't remember exactly. But prior to that, other organs in their very basic form do manifest. They do manifest. And in embryology also, we see that, um, like I said, the technical names, it's hard to match because, for example, I'll give you in the Vedic version, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that at a certain point in the development of the fetus in the womb of the mother, there are in the second trimester, I believe, Srimad Bhagavatam says that the fetus is bitten by many worms. Yeah? It is like thousands of worms are biting the baby suffers in the womb, and then later on offers the prayers. Now, based on medical technology, based on the ultrasound technology that we have, we can 100% prove that there are no worms inside the uterus. It's a sterile environment. That is there is no doubt about that. When we do C-section, it's not that worms are coming out. Or sometimes in the second trimester, if we have to do C-section because of some medical emergency, we never find any worms. But Bhagavatam says there are worms that are biting the fetus, and the fetus suffers intense pain in the second trimester. So what is that? So this has to be understood that when Bhagavatam says that there is a pain of innumerable worms biting the fetus, we have to understand that that is the time that corresponds to the development of the peripheral nervous system. So the skin, everything is getting their nerve supply at that time. And when you see, when there is a cut to the skin, it is so painful. Why? Because the nerves are getting cut. And then when the wound is healing, also we feel weird sensation, sometimes pain, sometimes itching. Why? Because those nerves that were cut, now the tissue is healing, and then the nerves to certain extent also heal. So when those nerves are healing or growing, there is so much pain, neuropathic pain. Now imagine a child in the womb whose nerves in the skin and everywhere are just developing. Can you imagine how uncomfortable it's going to be? Now that child cannot express that. The child cannot remember that. For example, when I was doing my pediatric nursery rotation during my residency at Emory, we did dozens of circumcisions in the male newborn. And Shamchandra Prabhu, you will not believe this. In the United States of America, where medical science is the most advanced in the whole world, without a doubt, they do newborn circumcisions with absolutely zero, no anesthesia.
Oh,
Unbelievable. It happens every day, hundreds of times, even today in America. They do newborn circumcisions of the male child without any sort of anesthesia, not even local anesthesia. Why? Because the child cannot protest. You just put it and cut it off. Ah! You put a pacifier in the mouth of the newborn is 1 day old, cannot protest, cannot do anything. The newborn babies are tied down, and the pacifier is put poopsie. Pacifier is put in the mouth, and the prepuce is just pulled up and choop, snip out like that. So, काय झालं? हो, झालं. So now this child who is 1 day or 2 days old, the male newborn, cannot remember that. Now look at that child when that child is 18 years old. You ask the child, did it hurt when you had circumcision? What? I don't remember. I was 1 day old. So they don't remember at that time, they cannot grab, grasp, run away. They cannot protest. So you just put a pacifier in the mouth to shut them up, tie the hands, they just swaddle the child tightly, and they just do the circumcision in America without any anesthesia. So the child cannot protest. But does it mean that the child does not feel pain? When I came to America, because I was a surgeon in India and I have done so many circumcisions, we used to always do it under anesthesia. And when I came to US, I was mortified to see this practice. And I actually brought it up with our program director that this is unacceptable. How can you, just because a child cannot speak, the child cannot protest, this is horrible. So my program director happened to be from Canada. And she told me that you're right. Actually, in Canada, they use anesthesia, and in Canada, in their medical school, they had done a study. When the circumcision is done without anesthesia, the heart rate goes up tremendously of the child, indicating severe pain. But they just do it like that in America because the child cannot protest, child cannot do it. And that's why they kill babies in abortion, because the child cannot protest in the womb. They just kill the baby in the form of abortions. Similarly, the child in the womb, when the nerves are developing, there is neurogenesis. The nerves are developing. Imagine the skin is developing its own nervous system, peripheral nerves that are going to give sensations of touch later on in life. Those nerves are growing up. Those nerves are developing. Those nerves are growing. What a intensely uncomfortable and painful situation it must be. It is unimaginable. And that is what the child undergoes in the womb. But just like the newborn, the child cannot remember, the child cannot protest, the child cannot do anything. Just endures the discomfort and the pain. Similarly, being cooked up in a small space like that must be so uncomfortable. But again, the child can. So therefore, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Krishna is saying we have to understand that all these four situations are very painful. And yet we celebrate birthday, we celebrate, oh, I'm 18 weeks pregnant. Yes, my child is kicking. And yes, it's all good. It's a sign of health. But we have to understand birth is a very painful situation. Birth is a punishment. What to speak of the punishment we face when we are born. So, my understanding is when Bhagavatam says worms biting the child, it refers to the development of the peripheral nerves which convey the sensations. They are very, very sensitive, and when they are evolving, when they are growing into the skin, I am sure it's a very, very painful condition. There is a lot of pain, shooting pain, tingling, and neuropathic pain that the fetus experiences, which in its own simple language, Bhagavatam says it's like the biting of many worms because it's similar. Imagine so many thousands of worms biting everywhere like that. So, Bhagavatam, many things have to be understood by the heart, not just technical. Oh, Bhagavatam says worms, we have done studies and there are no worms, Bhagavatam is wrong. No, we have to understand with the heart also. What is Bhagavatam saying? What Bhagavatam is saying in essence is at that time when the nerves are developing, the child feels intense pain, almost akin to the pain felt at that if thousands of worms were to bite a person like that. So I feel it matches that yes, the heart, when it is there, the heartbeat comes pretty early on in pregnancy, maybe 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks. I don't remember the exact time when the heartbeat comes in the child. But at that time, the other organs mentioned here in Bhagavatam, like the limbs and everything, belly, they are already formed. Not in the full manifested form, but in their rudimentary form, they are there. Does that make sense, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it makes sense, but then that leads to another question, Prabhu, in this,
Mhm.
because normally we are always we study in Bhagavatam that it is the subtle organs that come first, followed by the gross, and the destruction is reverse. Correct. So the subtle sense organ for the hridayam is mind, intelligence, ego, and also chitta.
Hmm.
So if we were to assume that by the time the heartbeat is detected, maybe in the 12th week or 13th week or whatever, and the remaining gross organs are already in some way formed but not fully developed.
Hmm.
So how would the gross come before subtle? That is also a question then.
Hmm. So, Prabhuji, the subtle body is already there. When the soul enters into the material body begins when the sperm and the ovum unite and there is fertilization. That is the start of life. The soul is always accompanied by the subtle body. It is the subtle body that has carried the soul into that physical body, gross
Medium.
body. Ah. So when the soul is there, enters into the fertilized ovum, at the time of fertilization, the subtle body is already there. But what this refers to, then the mind appeared, then intelligence appeared, then false ego appeared. It refers to the development. For example, the mind and intelligence of a newborn is when they were having that circumcision at day one of life or day two of life. Mind was there, intelligence was there, but it was not manifested. That mind and intelligence will perhaps not manifest till the age of 2 or 3, because our earliest memory is when we were 2 years old or 3 years old. Before that, we have zero memory. Does it mean the mind was not there? The mind was there, but it was not fully manifested. The intelligence is there, but not manifested. We have not been able to use it. The impressions in the mind are there, impressions in the subtle body are there, but it will take time for them to manifest. Just like the bones keep on growing, developing, maturing till the age of 18, correct? Therefore, we have pediatric orthopedic surgeons and we have adult orthopedic surgeons. So here, although it says that after that the mind, it pertains to the progressive appearance and progressive development of the mind and intelligence and false ego also. But mind, intelligence, false ego, which comprise the subtle body, is always there with the soul. They're always there. So this just refers to
Okay.
they becoming more and more manifested.
Okay, Prabhu.
You'll have to
Thanks.
understand.
It makes a little sense now. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. And the last question, Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Since we're talking about soul, I had observed once when my son's walker went over a worm, like a earthworm, and the body cut into half, and both the bodies were moving, as if both were alive. So how do you explain that? I mean, are there two souls in the worm?
No, that just refers to the anatomy and physiology of a worm. You cut the tail of a lizard, the tail will keep moving for some time. I have seen once a Kasai cut off the neck of a chicken, and the chicken hen was still running, headless. I have seen it with my own eyes for some time, and then it drops dead. So that's just the particular anatomy and physiology of that species, that they are created like that, that even when the body is bisected into two parts, for some time the body will keep wiggling and then it will stop. So like that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Yeah, I once heard my Guru Maharaj mentioning on this particular point. He has mentioned that, see, we generally, our understanding is that we have only one soul, but actually there are multiple thousands and thousands of souls existing in our own body itself. Each and every cell has got a soul by itself. So coming back to the this earthworm thing, so actually earthworm also, like when it is cut, there are actually souls. There is a soul existing in that part. There is a soul existing in this part also, and eventually they leave. So our general understanding, see, there is one. There are parasite souls also. They
Yeah, we
they
have so
basically
many good bacteria,
present.
thousands of them.
Yeah.
They have
So similarly, this earthworm also has soul. Here it has got soul. So when it is cut, actually there are soul. So as long as there is a presence of soul in the body, there will be some movements or whatever we see. Once the soul leaves, the movement will stop.
Yeah.
So some species have got that, but in our case, I think when the main soul leaves, there is no movements even of the, like, even if there is something happening in the cell, those souls also will start vacating one by one slowly, but it will not be seen because the main soul is already left. So the body will look still. So something on those lines.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And also, before we end, let us offer our sincere prayers by 3 times chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the safety and the peace of everyone, especially the devotees, especially the holy land of India, Bharat, where our beloved Radharaman live, Lord Badrinarayan lives, Lord Jagannath lives, Lord Dwarkadish lives, Lord Ranganath lives, Lord Venkateshwar lives, this holy land of Bharat where Krishna eternally lives, the home of Krishna, the home of so many devotees, so many sadhus, so many followers of Bhagavad Dharma in the four sampradayas and their branches. We pray that the land of Bharat, where Krishna is being worshipped in so many beautiful temples, where our Bhagavad Dharma is being preached, place where so many devotees live, may that place of Bharat Bhumi be safe, may Dharma be protected, and we offer prayers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Hari Bol. May Lord Narasimhadev protect all the devotees. Hare Krishna. And may there be defeat to the Vidharmis. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so much,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.